Hello everyone! In this video I'm going to make a shrug out of this roll of vintage lace. It's white vintage lace and I'm going to use only this lace and nothing else. I'm Marjolein Turin, designer of Somnia Romantica. I'm the sole person behind this fashion label. Here on YouTube I show what I do. Kind disclaimer, I'm a small independent fashion designer living from my fashion designs. Please do not copy my designs. Seeing it as inspiration is absolutely okay though. Note this is a peek over my shoulder, it's not a tutorial. I am self-taught, I work in an unconventional, often intuitive way. I have little knowledge of official techniques. Here's my sketchbook. This one is almost filled. Here is a fresh page. It's going to be a very simple design. So puff sleeves, bell sleeve ends, cute little bodice. I think I will go for this shape. The cool thing about this lace is that you can use it in many ways. You can separate it through the wavy lines, this one, and that way you can create smaller versions of it. It's also very broad, so you can use it as a fabric for the bodice parts. Here I lay down the back, the half of the back of the bodice, and cut it out. And after that I make sure it is mirrored, so I'm looking for the place where the lace is exactly the same, but then mirrored, and then I cut the other part out. There you go. And then the front of the bodice, same thing, I look up a nice place to cut it and then I mirror it. And then for the sleeves I pick a large piece of fabric and just cut it in the shape of a sleeve. It's very wide because it's going to be pleated, it's going to be a puff sleeve. And here I mirror it again and fold it up neatly. Then I'm going to the biceps of the sleeves. It's going around the biceps and the elbow, a bit smaller at the elbow part than the biceps part. And again I mirror it. After that I go on to the part, the bell sleeve part. This will be 3 times the length of the circumference around the elbow, and for the sleeve ends I will use scallop lace, so I have to cut it out. The cutting looks a bit awkward because I'm trying to show it here on the video and holding it up is not the best way. Most times when I do this cutting I do it on my lap. But as you can see, when I cut it out you have a nice scallop lace and a cute lace in the mid, and the 2 at the edges are actually mirrored, so I can use that mirrored in my shrug design. After a lot of cutting, these are all the parts for the shrug. And now we go on to the sewing machine. Last note, I made these recordings when I was actually very ill. I really wanted to create again to keep my eyes on recovery. Some of the parts behind the serger and sewing machine are not perfectly framed or they are not well lit. I still wish to edit the raw material as I thought it's a nice topic and to honor my efforts from back then. Yay! Here I'm sewing the back parts of the bodice, mid-back. They are going to the serger. Lately I bought new embroidery scissors. Guess why? Here I'm sewing the sides of the bodice and then the shoulder parts. After that I am sewing all around the bodice, around the neckline. This barely frays, but it's still more neat to do it like this. Then I am going to pleat the sleeves on the sewing machine because I want to keep the scalloped part. Here I'm sorry for the bright light. As you can see I'm making very dense pleats, and then here I am sewing the bell sleeve on, again with very dense pleats. And then I go to the serger and I make the seam in the arm. This is at the armpit part and then all through to the end of the bell sleeve. I'm constantly looking if I'm still level with the lace so that it looks nice from the outside. Then here I am. What am I doing on earth? Oh! Here it's hard to see, I'm sorry for the out of focusness, but I'm sewing the seam flat at the sleeve end so it looks nice. And then I am pleating the scallop lace on. I'm pleating it at the end of the sleeve, and here you see it's a very cute flowery effect which you get. And at the end I roll the beginning of the scallop lace and the end in each other and sew them flat, so it becomes a pleat in itself. Here I sew the mid-back flat, cutting some frays. Then I'm pleating on the inside of the bodice, all around the neckline, the scallop lace. And when I'm halfway through, I grab the other mirrored lace and go on from there. So I sew them together, mirrored, and then I pleat on in the opposite direction to make sure it has a nice symmetric flow from the neckline all through the back of the bodice. I'm constantly looking if the pleats are somewhat in the same place to make sure that it doesn't have annoying differences in where the scallop lace is at the left or the right end of the bodice. So checking and checking. As you can see, always when I sew, I put 2 fingers at the left and the right of the sewing foot. That's to make sure the lace stays put. And then at the end I sew the parts together again, and then I turn the bodice to the outside, and there I apply a second layer of lace. So the scallop lace is pleated on both the inside and the outside of the bodice, all around the neckline, to give a very lush effect and to cover the serge seam both on the inside and the outside with lace. This is something I often do. Here you can also nicely see how the back part is mirrored. It's so cute because when you mirror lace with such an expressive style as this one, you get whole new patterns depending on where you decide to mirror the lace. You can really play with that. And also the way you pleat it. Do you do an extra pleat at the wider part, or do you only put a pleat on the small part? There are so many options. Then when I'm finished, I'm sewing the pieces together again, mirroring it, making sure the seam is on the inside, and then on the outside you have nice and mirrored lace. That's my hair. There you go. And there's my happy little label. And then I only have to insert the sleeves. And again, I'm sorry for this being quite out of focus. I'm fumbling all the puff sleeve, all the pleats of the puff sleeve in the armhole of the bodice, making very dense pleats, and then the bodice is done. I did not insert all of the sewing of the armholes because it was so out of focus. But hey, we're done. This is the shrug in its finished form. This is the front, the back, and here are some details. And here you can see what I started with after it was cut and the end result. So that was it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will be back with more because I still have raw materials of a cute little top and another big dress with train. So stay tuned. I have been out of action because I have been ill for a long time, but I'm picking up everything again, and I look forward to being more active again on YouTube. A big thank you to my Patreons. You can see them here. You are all awesome. Oh, before I forget it, of course, likes and subscriptions are much appreciated. And if you have questions or comments, you can leave them below. All links that are relevant are in the description. See you next time. Bye bye.